Libra. 10 spiritual insights that could change your year. There is a kind of knowing that does not come from books or teachers or even from the people you love most. It comes from within, from a place so deep inside you that most of the world never even touches it. And if you are a Libra who has lived past 60, you know exactly what that place feels like. It is quiet. It is steady. It is the part of you that has always known the truth, even when the noise around you tried to drown it out. Right now, the universe is offering you 10 spiritual insights that carry the power to reshape everything about the year ahead. Not through force, not through struggle, but through the kind of gentle, unshakable clarity that has always been your birthright. Insight 1. The first insight is this. Your need for balance is not a flaw, it is a spiritual gift that the world desperately needs right now. For years, you may have been told that your desire for harmony was a form of avoidance, that wanting things to be fair and beautiful and right was somehow naive or impractical. But the deeper truth is that your pursuit of balance is one of the most spiritual things a person can do. It mirrors the way the universe itself operates, always seeking equilibrium, always moving toward wholeness. And in this year especially, that gift is being called forward. The world around you is chaotic, divided, uncertain, and your soul knows how to hold the center when everything else is swirling. This is not something you need to learn. It is something you need to trust. Because every time you have trusted your instinct for balance in the past, it has led you to exactly the right place. Not always the easiest place, not always the most comfortable place, but the right one. The place where growth was waiting, where truth was sitting patiently, where love had already set the table, and was simply waiting for you to arrive. This year is asking you to trust that instinct more deeply than you ever have before. To stop apologizing for wanting things to be better, for wanting people to treat each other with kindness, for wanting your life to reflect the beauty you carry inside. That desire is not weakness, it is wisdom. And when you honor it fully, everything around you begins to shift in response. The relationships that are meant to stay will deepen, and the ones that have been draining you will gently, naturally begin to fall away. Not with drama, not with pain, but with the quiet certainty that comes when you stop forcing things to work and start letting them find their true shape. Insight 2. The second insight is that your intuition has been speaking to you more clearly than ever, and this is the year to finally listen without hesitation. You have always had a strong inner voice, a sense of knowing that goes beyond logic or reason, but throughout your life you have often second-guessed it. You have weighed the pros and cons, you have asked for other opinions, you have talked yourself out of what your gut was telling you because it did not fit neatly into the rational framework you thought you needed. And sometimes that process served you well, but more often than you might want to admit, your first instinct was right all along. This year something is different. The signal is stronger, the clarity is sharper, and the cost of ignoring it is higher than it has ever been. Your intuition is not asking you to be reckless or impulsive. It is asking you to be courageous. To trust the quiet voice that says this is not right for me anymore, or this is exactly where I need to be. To stop waiting for external validation before you act on what you already know. Because the truth is, you have spent enough years gathering information. You have enough experience, enough wisdom, enough heartbreak behind you to know what feels true and what does not. And this year, the universe is gently but firmly telling you that the time for hesitation is over. The answers you have been searching for are not out there somewhere. They are already inside you, patient and steady, waiting for you to finally say yes to what you have always known. Insight 3. The third insight carries a weight that might feel uncomfortable at first, but stay with it. The people who challenge you the most are often your greatest spiritual teachers. This does not mean that toxic relationships are good for you, or that you should tolerate mistreatment. It means something far more nuanced than that. It means that the friction you have experienced with certain people throughout your life has been shaping you in ways you could not see at the time. The family member who never seemed to understand you taught you how to stand firm in your own truth. The friend who disappointed you taught you the difference between loyalty and self-sacrifice. The partner who could not meet you where you needed to be met taught you what you truly deserve. And now, looking back with the clarity that only time can provide, you can see the thread that connects all of those experiences. Each one was an invitation to grow, to refine, to become more fully yourself. This year, that pattern is continuing, but with a significant difference. You are now wise enough to see the lesson while it is happening, not just in hindsight. You can recognize when someone is triggering something deep inside you and choose to explore it, rather than react to it. You can ask yourself, what is this person showing me about myself, instead of why is this person making my life difficult? That shift in perspective is profoundly spiritual, and it will change the way you move through every relationship you have from this point forward. Insight 4. The fourth insight is about letting go of the version of yourself that the world expected you to be. For most of your life, you have carried an invisible weight. The weight of other people's expectations, other people's definitions of who you should be, how you should act, what you should want. And because you are a Libra, because harmony matters so deeply to you, you often shaped yourself to fit those expectations. Not entirely, not completely, but enough. Enough to smooth the edges. Enough to keep the peace. Enough to make sure everyone around you was comfortable, even if you were not. But this year, something inside you is refusing to keep doing that. There is a part of you that is tired, not physically tired, but spiritually exhausted from the effort of being what everyone else needs instead of being what you actually are. And that exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of awakening. It is your soul telling you that you have outgrown the costume, that the role you have been playing no longer fits, that it is time to step into something more authentic, more raw, more real. This does not mean you need to become confrontational or abandon the people you love. It simply means giving yourself permission to be fully, unapologetically you. The version of yourself that has opinions and boundaries and desires that may not always align with what others expect. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Insight 5. The fifth insight is that solitude is not the same as loneliness, and this year is asking you to learn the difference once and for all. As a Libra, you are wired for connection. You thrive in relationships, you come alive in conversation. You feel most like yourself when you are sharing space with someone who truly sees you. And that is beautiful. But there is a shadow side to that gift. And it shows up when you start to fear being alone. When solitude feels like punishment instead of nourishment. When you fill your calendar to avoid the silence. When you stay in conversations or commitments that have run their course just because the alternative feels too quiet, too empty. This year, the universe is inviting you into a different relationship with solitude. Not one of fear, but one of intimacy. Because the truth is, some of the most profound spiritual insights of your life will come in the moments when no one else is around. When you are sitting quietly with your own thoughts, when you are walking without a destination, when you are simply being without the need to perform or please or produce. In those moments, something opens up inside you. A doorway to the part of yourself that you can only access when the noise stops. And behind that doorway is a peace so deep, so complete, that it makes the peace you create for others look like a candle next to the sun. This is the year to walk through that doorway willingly, to choose solitude not because you have to, but because you understand that it is where your most important spiritual work happens. Insight 6. The sixth insight is that gratitude is not just an emotion. It is a practice that physically rewires the way you experience your life. You have heard people talk about gratitude before. You have probably even tried to practice it in various ways over the years, making lists, saying thank you more often, trying to focus on the positive. But this year, the universe is asking you to go deeper, to move beyond surface-level appreciation and into something that transforms you from the inside out. Real gratitude, the kind that changes your year, is not about ignoring the hard things. It is about holding them alongside the beautiful things and recognizing that both are essential parts of the journey. It is about looking at the loss that nearly destroyed you and saying, "You taught me something I could not have learned any other way." It is about looking at the betrayal that broke your trust and saying, "You showed me how strong I actually am." This kind of gratitude requires courage, because it asks you to find meaning in pain, purpose in struggle, and beauty in the broken places. And as a Libra, you are uniquely equipped for this practice, because your soul has always been drawn to seeing the full picture, not just the easy parts. When you commit to this deeper form of gratitude, something remarkable happens. The things you are grateful for begin to multiply, not because your circumstances change, but because your perception changes. You start seeing gifts where you used to see problems. You start feeling abundance where you used to feel lack. And that shift is not wishful thinking. It is spiritual alchemy. Insight 7. The seventh insight is that forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, is the single most powerful spiritual act available to you this year. You have carried things for a long time. Mistakes you made decades ago that still visit you in the quiet hours. Words you said that you wish you could take back. Decisions that led you down paths you would not have chosen if you had known then what you know now. And the weight of those memories, the way they sit in your chest and tighten your throat when they surface, that weight is not punishment. It is a signal. It is your soul telling you that it is time to put these things down. Not to forget them, not to pretend they did not happen, but to release the judgment you have been holding against yourself. Because here is the truth that most people do not want to hear. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Every single decision, even the ones that feel unforgivable, was made by a version of you that was doing their best to survive, to love, to navigate a world that did not come with instructions. And that version of you deserves compassion, not condemnation. This year, the spiritual work of self-forgiveness is not optional. It is essential. Because as long as you are carrying shame from the past, you cannot fully step into the future that is waiting for you. The energy you spend punishing yourself is energy that could be used to create something beautiful, something meaningful, something that reflects the person you have become rather than the person you used to be. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Insight 8. The 8th insight is that your body is a spiritual instrument, and the way you care for it directly affects the quality of the insights you receive. This is something that is easy to overlook, especially in a culture that separates the physical from the spiritual, as though they exist in different universes. But they do not. Your body and your spirit are not separate entities. They are partners, collaborators, co-creators of your experience. And when your body is neglected, when it is tired or stiff or carrying tension from years of unprocessed emotion, your spiritual channels narrow. The intuition becomes harder to hear. The inspiration comes less frequently. The peace you seek feels further away. This year is asking you to treat your body as sacred ground, not through extreme diets or punishing exercise routines, but through gentle, consistent attention. Through movement that feels good rather than movement that feels like obligation. Through food that nourishes rather than food that simply fills. Through rest that is truly restful. Not just the absence of activity but the presence of surrender. When you begin to care for your body with the same tenderness you offer to the people you love, something shifts. Your energy increases. Your mind clears. Your heart opens wider. And the spiritual insights that have been trying to reach you finally have a clear path through which to arrive. Insight 9. The 9th insight is that the relationships you nurture this year will become the foundation for everything that follows. Not just any relationships, but the ones that are built on mutual respect, mutual growth, and mutual honesty. As a Libra, you have always been the one who tends relationships with extraordinary care. You water them, you prune them, you give them sunlight and attention. But this year, the universe is asking you to be more selective about which gardens you tend. Because your energy is precious, and not every relationship deserves the same level of investment. This is not about being cold or calculating. It is about being honest with yourself about which connections truly feed your soul, and which ones have been draining it. Some relationships in your life have been running on obligation for years. The friend you see because you always have, not because you want to. The family member you call because you feel guilty, not because the conversation fills you up. The acquaintance you make time for because saying no feels uncomfortable. This year, the spiritual insight is that releasing these draining connections is not selfish. It is sacred. It creates space for the relationships that are truly aligned with who you are becoming. And those relationships, the ones built on genuine love and mutual evolution, will become the soil from which the most beautiful season of your life will grow. Insight 10. The 10th and final insight is perhaps the most important of all. You are not running out of time, you are running into it. There is a lie that the world tells people after 60. It whispers that the best days are behind you, that the window is closing, that the time for new beginnings has passed. And if you have ever believed that lie, even for a moment, this is the year to release it completely. Because the truth is exactly the opposite. You are standing at the beginning of something extraordinary. The decades you have already lived were the preparation. The lessons, the losses, the loves, the failures, the triumphs. All of it was building toward this moment. This moment where you have the wisdom to know what matters and the freedom to pursue it without distraction. This moment where you can look at your life with honest eyes and choose, consciously and deliberately, what the next chapter will contain. That is not an ending. That is the most powerful beginning imaginable. And the spiritual energy supporting you right now agrees. It is aligned with expansion, with growth, with the kind of deep, lasting transformation that only happens when someone is truly ready for it. And you are ready. You have been getting ready your entire life. Every prayer, every tear, every quiet moment of reflection was leading you here, to this exact point, where everything you have learned becomes everything you live. Let this be the year you stop holding back. Let this be the year you stop waiting for permission, for the right moment, for someone else to go first. The insights you have received today are not just information. They are invitations. Each one is a doorway, and behind each doorway is a version of your life that is more aligned, more peaceful, more authentically yours than anything you have experienced before. You do not need to walk through all 10 doors at once. Start with the one that resonated most deeply. Start with the one that made your heart beat a little faster, that made something inside you whisper yes. And trust that once you take that first step, the others will follow naturally, in their own time, in their own way, with the kind of grace and balance that only a Libra can truly understand. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.